far.
We've seen very few Terrans fielded on Expedition Lost. SOS is the player of choice.
Okay, all right. Not bad, not bad. If you know there's a Terran on this map, you know, SOS can get a lot done here. I mean, it does have that backdoor ice to mix things up, and you know, doing it all in against innovation is never a bad thing.
And to be totally frank with you, looking at SOS today, it looks like he got a lot of sleep last night. He looks really good. Yesterday he looked exhausted. He did not look like he was in good condition at all. His gameplay reflected it. So hopefully after his win last night, advanced into you know, the Star League, and he's rested. He's in a good mindset going into this map.
Yeah, well, coming off a win in Star League certainly going to help your mood. So hopefully you did go home and just take a rest. There's innovation again. Got a TVP next. He loves to pull the boys in this matchup.
Now, Innovation in this matchup is one of the best players in the world at macro and hitting that timing. But if he doesn't get his damage done early on, or if some of his damage gets shut down, he ends up looking like a broken robot, like a phone dropped in the water, like you know, the blue screen of death. Okay.
Yep.
So
it just happens like that.
If SOS, and SOS is known for doing tricky things, if SOS can throw him off in the early game, I could see him falling here.
I do agree with that. If you throw him out of the momentum, you know, he'll fall apart. See some fans in the audience.
Fans from all over the world here to watch Pro League, the best team league tournament in the world, the highest level Starcraft you're ever going to see this week.
This year.
This year, perhaps. We'll see. Surely feels like that right now. These two teams right now are at this moment in time the best of the best. These lineups are insane. We have $O$, I am grand champion of that winner-takes-all tournament versus Innovation, a champion in Korea, highly regarded by many, still to this day to be the best Terran of all time.
I disagree.
I know, I do too, but still, people regard him as that. He's got a ton of fans, arguably more popular than Mario oftentimes as well, despite his results slumping a bit recently. He's got a lot of momentum on him right now. He has an incredible record in Pro League, 6-1 versus Protoss with that pull the boys strategy. The fan vote is ongoing, 40 seconds left to send that in and see who the fans are thinking is going to take this one. I have a hunch based on Innovation's popularity, he'll take at least 70%. We'll find out. We're going into game number 2. Can SOS tie it up, or is Innovation going to continue his streak here in the round 3 finals? Down here in the bottom left, for SKT, it's Innovation.
It's the same picture. Up here in the top right, we do have the Jin Air Green Wings. SOS looking to do what he did day 1 of these playoffs.
$O$. And look at that, even writing in Morse code beneath his ID.
That's
save our souls.
That's impressive.
And right now, Moonblade, it certainly does feel like he might need to save Jin Air's souls.
He's going to have to start getting some wins and build that momentum because...
Oh, 50-50?
Wow.
50-50? 50-50?
It's like 2 people.
No way, man. This is the Grand Finals. There's so many people here.
A few hundred
in the studio alone, and this is on TV. There's no way. That's crazy. I mean, that's probably rounded up, but yeah.
I'd love to see the numbers for sure.
I would love to as well, but that's insane. I mean, we had a 50-50 vote on Rogue versus Innovation, a 50-50 vote on the casters for the win as well. Who's going to take it?
See how crazy this playoff match is. Oh, fans up above.
Again, so many fans from all over the world in this finals today.
Yeah, I'm liking it. All right, here. Innovation going to go for that Reaper expand opening. You know, seeing that standard sort of gateway as well for SOS.
It says Kanata looks very handsome. That's what it said. It's not even a joke. That's literally what it said.
I know. I preferred that guy with the dead game poster. It had more feeling to it. All right. So I wonder what SOS is planning going into this Expedition Lost, a map where Protoss can be a little bit more aggressive against Terran because of that backdoor option. Can really mix things up, especially against someone like Innovation. As we said prior to this game, like, he does fall apart at the sign of aggression, at the sign of something getting in the way of his rhythm.
Yeah. Like, for example, if you look at a program, if it's supposed to call an object, right? If you're a programmer, you know, say call an object, call a file, for example, if it's missing, everything stops. There's an error, crashes, and you know, that's what may happen here. Say if he ends up dealing with some Blink Stalker pressure, he takes too much damage, or say he gets DT dropped, which we've seen SOS do very recently even.
Absolutely.
So this kind of play might be something that throws him off here. He doesn't block the Nexus either, which is a bit of a frustrating start because he easily could have.
Yep, that's actually, yeah, a bit of a mistake there from Innovation, uncharacteristic. Should have been getting ready for that one, but maybe just not expecting the SOS to cut so many corners to get it down a little bit earlier.
Now, we've seen the evolution of this Widowmine Hellion type opening with the drops that really was started by TY last year. Changed more to Hellion focus. We're seeing a lot more Hellion play in this matchup in the early game in Korea here. Even in Europe as well, actually. It's becoming more popular, but
yeah,
it's one of these styles that is so difficult to deal with if you have, you know, a late reaction. Like, you need to know it's coming and be able to pre-split your probes. Otherwise, if your Stalkers are out of position, no matter how well you split, you're going to take some serious damage. Yeah,
and we've seen some really interesting sort of styles come out from the Protoss in terms of SimCity, throwing it down at like the natural ramp on certain maps. The merry-go-round comes to mind with Classic against Dream, and already we see, you know, a pile at the top of the ramp for SOS and a Robo, you know, nearby. Like, he can almost completely block this, if not completely.
Yeah, we see a Stalker getting into position to perhaps block that. We saw Myungshik as well, actually, just recently in Challenger, use a 2-Stalker block at the bottom of the ramp to stop Hellions from getting into his main. You know, Protoss players are really starting to adapt to deal with this. He sees the Hellions coming.
Oh, he saved the probe as well. Let's see what he's going to do. He's going to bring back the Stalker and block the top of that ramp while the Mothership Core gets to work on the Rock Tower.
Yep, even pulling that back for extra safety. Oh, wow, he's actually just going to wall this with a probe, it looks like.
I think he's going to block over the pylon.
Yeah.
All right.
And now we can actually perhaps just kill these Hellions.
Well, there's a few probes.
Good control, splitting those even. Oh, look at that. Puts both probes off. He gets 2 kills, but 2 kills for 2 Hellions, not the best.
Not worth it at all.
He saw the Robo.
Follow up.
So
yeah, Reactor Mines is going to be the follow-up here. Saving for a Medivac by the looks of things. There we go. He's going to get like 4 mines out before the Medivac even began, so a little bit of a mistake there from Innovation as well.
Yeah. Not sure what went wrong there. Perhaps a supply block, it looks like. But that is really unfortunate, especially considering the first observer is going to be out. The second one shortly to follow, no doubt.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple out by the time it gets even close.
Also, he saved his energy on the Mothership Core, so Nexus Cannon is something that we could see come into play. 140 energy on that currently. And counting. We are going to see an Immortal follow-up here, so only 1 observer, so he's going to need that to be at home. Oh, actually, it's actually get way out there.
Oh, I think that's the second one. There's one a little bit closer to home, kind of in between the natural and main base. But still, you know, it's not in position to deal with a mine drop.
It can't deal with both.
No, not if they go to 2 in one base, 2 in the other. It's going to create a lot of havoc.
That's most likely what we'll see here.
From his Stalkers are in the main base as well, not at the natural where this is going.
If he Nexus Cannons and the Stalkers hit the Medivac as it's trying to get into the main, that could be really effective.
Yeah, that might be the way to do it. It's going to lose some mining time for quite a decent amount of time there. But here we go.
Here we go. 1 down. Second one next to the Assimilator, not going to get much done. Stalkers are in position. He actually targets the Widow Mines. And how many kills will he get? 4 in total. And that Observer will come in here and finish this off. 1 kill for each mine. Not enough.
Nope. Lost a bit of mining time, though, on both bases, especially the main base. He kind of misrouted his probes when he was trying to go back to mining, so a little bit of a mistake there, but nothing too much. Nothing to compare to what it could have been, especially if we saw Creator try and deal with that sort of drop. Every probe would have been dead.
Fake drop here. There's also going to scout the Forge. This is the Twilight Council, but can obviously reasonably assume that that's coming along with it.
Yep, Twilight. He's down.
And so Innovation, though, in a position where he's significantly behind. Not because because SOS did anything to him, but because of what he committed to and how little damage it did. And there's this Immortal out. He's actually going to walk across the map with this to threaten and force him to make more bunkers and play defensively.
Yeah.
SOS is really good at this.
I like this a lot because he can work on that backdoor as well pretty quickly with an Immortal.
I think he might even...
Medivac has been found as well.
Wow.
Thanks to that Observer. And it's going to really force him back, maybe even start making bunkers at the top of this ice.
I have never, ever seen Innovation make a face like what he just made. He is tilted, man.
It's pretty wonky so far. You know, he hasn't had the best of games in terms of damage or build order.
He has no vision of this.
No, he doesn't. He has no idea. It's going to be down by the time he gets up the ramp to his main.
And I mean, this isn't a ton of units, but it's certainly enough to cause some serious disruption.
New Mothership Core, so I'm sure SOS is going to be very cautious with these units. He's not going to try to apply too much damage.
Now, what's interesting is there's no third base planned currently. 3 extra gates, Blink, and Colossi are the follow-up for now.
Yeah, I think we're going to see quite possibly follow up with an all-in here. He's going to have 6 gates with his Colossus, and he's going to have 1-1 by the looks of things.
Really interesting. We see turrets being placed actually by Innovation, even though fear of DTs in his mind at this point in time, which is pretty reasonable considering how SOS has been playing this matchup in recent times.
One mistake from SOS is not clearing out that third base. A Marine sitting there this whole time really tells Innovation everything he needs to know about what he's up against. He's like, okay, he's not expanding. He must be going for a 2-base. I have to be very defensive right now. I have to be very cautious of where this army is on the map.
Yeah, and also notice Innovation sends Marines all over the edges of his map to look for warp pylons, to look for armies. He's very concerned about a timing push hitting him very soon here.
This is why we see Innovation still in his main base right now. You know, he's not actually moving out. He's not trying to be too aggressive. He's moving down the ramp now. He'll be trying to clear out, make sure his third base is available whenever he decides to take it. But till this point, very defensive.
I think he feels that a probe's going to come over and take that third base pretty soon based on the movement here. He also has that watchtower, so he knows that if he moves this way, he won't be spotted as easily. He was already spotted, of course, by an observer that he didn't see, but from his point of view, this is a good way to move through the map, not through the middle, but through his own safety of his watchtower. 4 Widow Mines in this drop could actually come in and disrupt this army. He's probably just going to drop right on top.
Observer sees everything. That's a pretty big bio army right now.
Insane.
2 Colossus out.
Insanely large army here. The Colossi targeting has to be basically perfect on those Marines.
SOS has to be very careful. 3rd Colossus on the way as well. +1 armor. Nearly finished for the Protoss. In range, about to finish up as well. Still, man, that is a huge army. That is a huge supply lead.
Yeah, look at the supply army. He's 30 army supply up right now. His tech, though, is not, is not the best. He can be countered by those Colossi because he doesn't have Vikings yet. He is making them. So this is going to be a situation where the micro is of the utmost importance. If SOS does not control well, obviously the overwhelming advantage is for Innovation here. The Dark Shrine is getting close to finishing. He does see this missile turret, so he might be a little bit more careful about where he sends those.
Well, I mean, if he actually goes to the natural and just targets that down with 2 or 3 DTs, like, he won't lose him in time. Could really create some havoc there.
Yeah.
It's just got to be about getting there at the right time. And yeah, SOS kind of just turtling now that he's seen this army. Yeah. And Innovation's going to be the one to take that third base first.
Now, keep in mind, Innovation is, I don't think he's ever even one time made a ghost in his career. So if he is forced to play this late game, it's not his strength. It's not how he plays this matchup. So if, we do see the game go long, we see Storm out and Ghost with how slowly SOS is playing that, could be a challenge for Innovation. And I'm really excited to see how he handles that sort of situation because we almost never see him do that, ever.
Yeah, well, he still maintains that pretty hefty supply lead, which is going to be the big problem for SOS to move out of the map at all and secure that third. I think he's just really waiting for the DT kind of surprise before he makes his move onto the map.
Yeah. He could even be doing more drops right now, but when you force your opponent to turtle onto 2-base.
Innovation has spotted this, I think. Oh, maybe not. Oh.
Now he knows for sure.
Gave away that swipe.
All right, he's going to want to split these. He knows about the turret in the main. Oh, SOS is actually moving out right now. Taking his watchtower. Yeah. As he takes the third.
Yeah, so he's just making sure he's got sort of the vision he needs. Knows exactly where the army is right now. Forced out a scan. He's got more DTs on the way. Just delay as much as he can. Get to that late game army that's going to do pretty well against this huge bio ball we see of Innovation right now.
Innovation also has 8 Widow Mines in the mix here. And I think he sees this. He's got those 2 units following, so I would assume so. Oh, a mistake there showing that. He definitely knows about it now. Oh, he stims and goes the wrong way. Oh, a huge stim here, actually, to deal with this.
Yeah.
Only like 6 or 7 more R's. He's got plenty of medevacs. It's not a big deal, but anyway, responds to this. And Innovation, obviously, as I was saying before, he's not dropping. He's not attacking aggressively because he knows that he's going to be met with the utmost resistance because SOS is literally a turtle in his shell right now, trying to hold on to that third base, which is very exposed at this moment in time.
Ooh. SOS kind of getting out of position here. He's going to have like, oh, he's going to have to actually turn around here. His third base is completely exposed. Scan goes off. He's completely out of position.
Oh, wow. He's the tail end of the Vikings, and I think that tells him enough. Innovation, though, getting a bit indecisive about how he wants to move around this. Very indecisive. He could have forced a cancel on it, or rather killed that third base and gotten out by now.
Yeah, he could have used just a few units to do the same thing as well. DT's going to start making work in the army. Let's see if Innovation has another scan available.
There it is. Trying to buy time here. Innovation is mines. Oh, using Phoenixes to try to trigger the mines.
This is such a bad position as well for SOS. Those Vikings getting so many volleys off.
Oh, this is so bad. The mine hits are incredible, and SOS is going to crumble and fall apart. That's game.
Ugliest fight ever, completely out of position, running into mines and Vikings.
Micro was not even a factor in this fight, but actually he gets cleaned up with reinforcements.
Yeah, so keeps him alive for now.
I thought he was dead, man. I thought that was the end of it.
It certainly was the worst position to ever fight into, but he does have that upgrade advantage as well with the +2 armor.
Oh my god, those mines are about to trigger the line! Oh my god!
And if there ever was an advantage...
Oh my god!
If there ever was an advantage, it's certainly gone now, Wolf.
I cannot believe he stood there!
Oh,
I cannot believe that just happened!
That was ridiculous. That actually should never have ever happened. He knows what hit his army. He knew exactly what was there. He stood in the middle of them, welcoming death. He had even supply. And now he's going to defend the follow-up army from Innovation, and Innovation most likely will win the game in the most absurd way.
Oh, wow. Well, this is probably too much for him to deal with. Actually, again, those Vikings, they do their job, but without landing, there's kind of dead supply at this point, and he gets pushed back.
Yeah, well, I guess all the Colossus are gone, so it's okay. That is a big supply count into Vikings. Let's see if SOS can make a game of it after that sort of blunder. He's making more DTs, which I really like. Force out as many scans as you can to try and slow this down while you get back the backbone of your army.
Yeah. There is an upgrade advantage to SOS here with that armor. Oh, he's actually going to land the Vikings now.
All right. Well, this is going to give the Colossus a lot more time. He's going to lift them now.
He's got a really good position here with this bio. Colossi not really getting too many hits on the Vikings, not getting too many hits on the Colossi. The Colossus getting a ton of damage done. The Zealots are tanking here. And the Immortal at the back getting some decent damage done as well. This is going to get pushed back.
Once again.
A lot of medevacs in the air, a lot of Vikings in the air, but the bio count itself is small enough that with this extra armor that SOS has, he's able to push it back.
Yeah, this Immortal has actually been doing so much work as well. Currently on 15 kills.
Wow. He's
just staying alive the whole game. The Widowmine didn't find him. So yeah, I think he's having a big part to play with dealing with these Marauders.
This game is just insane.
Looks like Innovation's actually going to try and split things up now. He keeps losing these fights. He's actually kind of reset the game despite having that huge advantage. Yeah. Third base is kind of exposed at this point. There's only Stalkers here and a Mothership Core to defend.
Nexus Cannon will definitely help with that. He's even going to bring a DT in. I like this choice a lot. If every time you have to attack, you have to scan, it starts being a bit cost inefficient over time.
Yeah, that's a huge disadvantage.
And he has to scan to defend the DT harass as well.
Wow, beautiful play from SOS.
We saw play like this even in the Brood War days, when if you get a Templar Archive out, you can send DTs around the map constantly, you can use them to defend, and if your opponent has to keep using his comsat sweeps, then you're going to eventually run out of scans. It becomes a lot more annoying to deal with. Like, you know, in this case, without a Raven, Science Vessel in StarCraft 1, like, you know, if you have to constantly scan, it affects your economy. Look at these scans all over the place. Trying to get this Observer, actually going to miss it. Has to scan again.
Scan, wow, this is the last thing Innovation needs right now.
Look at this.
It's on even playing field at this point. The composition is actually in favor of SOS because of the lack of Vikings at this point against the Colossus constantly being made from SOS. Innovation's in a bad spot. He cannot afford to be spending these many scans on observers.
Yeah, it's no mystery that Innovation's late game TVP is weak, and we're seeing it here.
Well, I mean, he's against making an armory, which is definitely a big factor in that because he does not have +2 anything.
Yeah.
He's sitting on 1-1 this entire game long. It's 23 minutes in and still 1-1.
No upgrades for his Vikings, and that's something the Korean commentators pointed out earlier. Because the Colossi have +2 armor that gets applied twice to Vikings, so the Vikings can't kill those Colossi as quickly. It takes a lot more volleys.
That's right. And we have seen that. You know, that one Colossus that held at the third base against 4 Vikings, he lasted forever. Yeah. And now, actually, SOS is brave enough to move out of the map and maybe look for a fight, which I think might be a mistake here.
Yeah, I think he's getting way too ahead of himself. The Marauder count is insane.
It's insane. And he can take his time against this kind of composition because Innovation is not looking for the late game. He's looking for the next build-up and attack.
Yeah. He's making 2 starports worth of Vikings right now. I think he's going to pull the boys. And SOS does not have a mothership core with this.
Oh, he's going to force out another scan, at least as a DT in this army. Still now, SOS is in a pretty awkward place right now, and Zealots are completely out of position.
Terrible control there on those Colossi, but finally the 2 force fields on that ramp will allow him to move back.
The Zealots, they need to come back.
Yeah, I can't believe he's trying to take this fight. The Vikings are going to zone the Colossi out, but he is eventually wearing them down.
He gets the CC, I guess, and he's staying alive for now.
This is insane.
He needs to get it with the army.
Guardian Shield goes up. Looks like this is going to be the game-deciding moment. Those Colossi in the back doing a lot of damage, but more importantly, he's surrounded by Zealots. Is this bio enough? There's a lot of medevacs in the air. The ground army, will it last through? The answer is yes.
It will, and now becomes a real problem for SOS once again. Kind of putting himself in a corner here, trying to get away with the remaining Stalkers he has, but the backbone has officially been broken this time. If it wasn't the first.
Not these 2 players' best play at all in this game, that's for sure, but nerves are running high here. DT harass continues currently, but Innovation is looking to try to close out this game. He has to, right? Because he's lost his second CC. He has a massive supply lead in Army, 60 up right now. I don't think any amount of magic tricks or DTs or good Colossus control is going to save him here.
No, magic will not work this time around, Wolf. I mean, he still has the mining base, which is the more important one after all. And you're now seeing that one Colossus down to half HP at this point. The army is way too big for Innovation.
It's going to be too much. Scans again. SOS so frustrated. GG. Innovation takes his 2nd win in a row.
Man, some big mistakes that game. I couldn't believe it. The decision-making from SOS, very, very questionable. Sitting in a minefield after he wins the fight. Going to attack into an empty base, uses all his Zealots to kill it, gets cornered and loses his whole army, loses the game for it. Very sloppy decision making.
Why attack into Innovation when you have 3 bases, you have a composition advantage, and Innovation is getting that Viking count, he's just poising for a fight? Why not spend some of your gas on going Storm and just sit back and defend? You have the upgrade advantage.
Even upgrades, even just upgrade your stuff a little bit longer. Get +3 armor with your Zealots. You're up against 1-1. He's staying at 1-1. He's just making the next army to try and kill you with the same composition that gets more inferior the later the game gets. I mean, there's a lot of different ways SOS could have gone about it. He was not in a desperate situation. I think he might have thought that way. He'd think, he's like, okay, I barely won that fight. My army kind of got reset in terms of Colossus count. I got to make something happen here. I got to try and mix it up and be the aggressor, but it was not the right choice.
No, it certainly was not. That was definitely a poor decision. Something that SOS will probably regret for the rest of his career, at least definitely for the rest of this round, man. And losing 2 key players already to Innovation, this is not a good situation at all for Jin Air. And do we see Maru on Deadwing? I think the answer might be yes.
I think we might not have a choice at this point because he is the last remaining big player for Jin Air, the one that gets the points. He's the one that carries.
Yeah, if SOS cannot beat Innovation on Expedition Lost, Trap cannot beat Innovation on Deadwing. It is not going to happen.
Certainly not. I think we have to see Maru at this point. There is no other choice about it.
Yeah, honestly, if Classic ends up being the last player that SKT sends, I'd feel more comfortable. It'd be okay if Trap's the last player if he goes to try to PvP or something like that. We're going to take a 3-minute break, guys, before we get the player reveal, so stay tuned.